so we're going to go back here. Alrighty, and we're going to get Graham to be our student. And Graham is going to have difficulty decoding these syllables or blending the sounds in these syllables. Okay. Alrighty, Graham. Can you see these?
I can, yeah.
All right. So we're going to assume that you've been through the sound with the student and the student knows the sound perfectly well, but finds it very difficult to blend. Okay. And go.
The,
Okay, that was terrific. You know all the sounds, so that was really good. Let's go back to this first one, okay? That says we're going to try and make it faster and go together a little bit more. Can you say ba?
ba,
Okay, say it faster. Ba.
pa,
I'm sorry, what did you say?
pa,
Okay, I think the issue here, Graham, is you don't have difficulty with the consonant sounds.
Okay.
You're having difficulty blending, okay? So that's what I'm trying to address. Okay, but beautiful. No, can you say this together? Listen, I'm going to say it and then I want you to copy me. Ba.
ba,
Beautiful. And so this one is ka.
ka,
What's this one again?
ba,
A little bit faster.
ba,
And we're going to go ba, like bad, back. Can you say bad?
bad,
Back.
back,
You hear how those sounds are all together, tight, tight? So let's make these sounds all together tight. Ba.
ba,
Perfect. What about this one? Ka.
ka,
All righty. What about if you tried that one all by yourself now? The first one.
ba,
Oh, look at you go.
ka,
You want to try this one by yourself?
da,
Oh, wow. You're a quick study. Very good. Let's go to the second line, please.
ah,
Okay. We're going to try and get all those sounds together in a package again. So let's say for this one, fa.
ba,
Beautiful. Let's go back and do these ones. You were so good with these ones. Let's do that one.
ba, ka,
Look how quickly you put those together.
da,
And now try this one again.
ba,
Okay. So what are you going to do with this one?
ga,
And this one?
ha,
Beautiful. Okay. Let's go down from here to there. Let's go down.
ba,
Okay. Can you remember to get them together faster?
ka,
Oh, that's terrific. What about this one underneath?
ga,
Top one.
da,
Okay. We're going to make it as one solid sound. Da.
da,
Perfect. And the bottom one?
pa,
And what's this one again?
da,
And this one?
ga,
Oh, and how about this one?
ba.
Okay, cool. Let's do something else for a while, okay? All righty. Okay, any questions about that? Did you notice that I didn't go very far? Yeah, please, Shalisa.
And I'm just wondering, when they're having a difficult time putting the two together, would you use an analogy maybe? Like if you know they're really interested in, let's say, vehicles or something like that, would you say, think of it as, I don't know, two race cars going side by side? I don't know, something like that. Does that make sense?
No, because the race cars don't touch each other.
True. Okay. Okay.
You
Not
might
necessarily
say,
that particular
two
one.
race
But I'm
cars
just saying.
having a horrible accident.
Okay. Yeah, sure. Two race cars crashing into each other. My son would love
Yeah,
that. Yeah.
no, I wouldn't do that. I
No.
would stay
Okay.
exactly on point and do what
Okay.
I did. Model what you want.
All right.
They don't memorize ba because you helped them understand that those two sounds don't have a midpoint, right? You're not doing them any disservice saying, you know what, that really says ba. Can you say ba? Because that blending is tough. And somebody taught poor Graham that that's a b and an a and a k and an a, right? And so you have to tell him that. So what should be salient for you there, I hope, is that I didn't take him on to do more, right? It was clear to me that decoding is tough for him, blending is tough. So let's get him strong and used to hearing that space, as it were, closes when he does it. And then hopefully over time, he will start doing that himself. And so that's why I showed him ba, I showed him ka. Does he get the concept? Can he do da by himself? And he did better at da. I don't remember if he got it right that time, but he got a couple pretty good, and then he made a mistake. So then but remember, we're going to, put it together. And then I went back and said, can you do it again? And that's because even though I've told him that, he doesn't really have recognition, but he kind of has recognition because there's not much there, right? There are only five or six that he did, right? But what I want him to do is practice from within himself, like be autonomous in getting the ba. If I had gone down and just let him struggle with that and then done the ja, la, ma, but in the way he was doing it, he's not learning anything. He's just doing wrong at every step. So shorten it up, make that your teachable moment. This is what we're going to do. We're going to get those sounds together, tight, tight, tight. You know what I mean? Or however you do that, And then that's a lot of work. It's also a lot of correction, which can be demotivating, right? And so you want to do enough that you're starting to make the impression that they're starting to understand it, but then you want to stop and go give them a chance to be really good at something, or talk to them about their toys, their cars that they like, or some diversion from that. And if they're, a pretty good natured kid, you can probably take them back to that after a minute or so off of it. Okay.
And how would you write that down in your notes? Would you just write like BL, I don't know, issue or something like that? Like in your blending? Sorry, blending.
Oh, yeah, I wouldn't use those kind of short forms.
No,
okay?
just like for myself, but then when I'm sending
I
it
would
to you.
I would just say difficulty blending, only did 6.
I'm just trying to think of tying the whole making the notes and doing the lesson at the same time and seeing how I can stay on task with continuing the lesson, but then also at the same time taking the notes.
Absolutely. So the thing is that an unhappy face will tell you, because there's only one purpose in that activity, and that is to see if the child can blend.
Okay.
Right? That's it. Simple purpose. Okay. So if you've got an unhappy face, the child has difficulty blending. Okay. And if the difficulty blending is because they've got those sounds, then you could put unhappy face plus .
Okay.
Right? That's a short form that tells you what the issue was, and only did first 6 only, whatever you want. And then if you go back to it, then you can write in there. Went back second time, first 6 much better, went on. Do you know what I mean? But you don't have to give your notes, you'll figure them out. All I'm saying is don't write such shorthand, because it's all new, that you don't know what you're talking
about. Okay.
Right. Yeah. And make sure that your notes are clear, so that when Richard is looking at what you did, he can say, yeah, that makes sense what you did, or I'm not sure what you did. Right. Okay. Any other questions about that? Yes.
I was just wondering, do you use pacing at all? Like, I feel like sometimes with this, like, and I don't know if it's a good technique or not, but like having them kind of rapid fire at you, so they almost like are like da, like it's like almost like, but I know we obviously want to get them back to be able to say like, okay, let's drop the cadence that we've been doing. But would you use that as part of your teaching technique, like to try to get them to say like ba, da, ka, and then maybe slow it down, go back to ba, and see if they know it?
Do you mean that I would model it rapid fire?
Yeah, or even trying to get like I noticed like when I was trying to but like when you were saying like ka, and I was like ka, and then you were da, and I was saying it quick, right? So like sometimes
Yeah.
you're saying it quick, it's already imprinted there, like it's like
Mhm.
ba. Would
Yeah.
you use that kind of technique with the students, and then being sure to go back and kind of isolating it where there's no previous kind of cadence behind it with them?
I'm sorry. I don't understand.
Yeah, I'm
If the
trying to think how I
child,
can explain it.
if the child can do it,
Mhm.
I wouldn't need to go back.
Right. But like I guess what I mean is like if you name it off rapid fire, like ba ka da, whatever, they're clearly able to say it quickly.
Yeah.
But if we go back and we can't say it like isolated, like let's say we go down to the next activity and come back to it and they're again struggling, but we notice if they say ba, they can immediately go to da and get it. But if we go down and we're doing a different activity and we come back to ba and they're not able to do ba, you mark them as having comprehension. Does that make sense? Like kind of like if they can say, like if they say, if you give them, can you say ba, and then they say ba, and then you the next one and they immediately say da, and then they say ba, and they're getting it all right.
Yeah.
Down to another activity, and maybe the next class when you come back for a review and you say, what is this one? And without that previous you giving them a ba, do it like
Yes. Okay. So I think that what you don't want to worry about is cadence. And this isn't an issue of them being able to isolate a syllable. The purpose here is for them to be able to read the syllables and do the blending relatively smoothly. Over time, that will become faster and faster. So you have your first meeting. So we had our first meeting, and let's say we didn't go any farther with that, Graham, for whatever reason, okay, in the lesson. The next time you and I met, those we would go back to that in phonics. We hadn't finished that,
right.
Okay, and where we would start, we wouldn't start at line 3. We start at the top. We start at line 1 with ba, ka, da, and we'll see where you are at the time, right? I would expect you might be a little bit faster, but if not, then it's something that we would have to review. Am I answering your question?
Yeah. I think what I guess I more so meant was, because I know that for you when you were helping me, like I would say, and then you would say fa, and then immediately after I might be able to pair you, right? So I guess trying to.
You're talking about carrying over the learning to like.
Yeah, like when
continuously.
is it just parroting and when is it actually comprehension?
Well, it's not about comprehension. Number one, this isn't comprehension, it's decoding. And so it stops being about parroting when I say that's ba, can you say ba? And I really urge you folks to focus on a, it is not a, okay? Can you say ba? And you say ba. And then I say, this one is ka. Can you say ka? And you read ka. And then what did I do? I went back and said, can you tell me this one? I didn't tell it to you. You weren't parroting.
So you wouldn't give a smiley face off of a parrot. You would only do it if you showed them the
independently.
And then they were able to say it without previous prompting from you. That would be the only time that you would give them a smiley face to show that they have success with it.
Yeah, they have to be able to do that task
without prompting.
Without yes.
Okay.
But your notes will be a little bit different from time to time. There might be a little bit of hesitation for something, right? And so you might write yourself a note, not bad, but not fluent.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? Can blend, still Dysfluent. And then you would take it back and you would do it again. It would become the work you do in fluency in the second meeting. So here it is. So who was my first student? Brian, you were my first student?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So if I were structuring this and planning for the second meeting, in Brian's second meeting, I would go on to phonics lesson 2. I would put the syllable reading in fluency because he can always be better at it. And I would have a note that Brian struggles with the sound ah. He struggles
Okay.
to control that sound, okay? And I would put the syllable reading in fluency.
Gotcha.
And under phonics, I'd move him on to lesson 2. He can blend, right? So because he can blend, I need to move him forward. I'm going to put him on words. If I were planning for your second meeting, I wouldn't have anything under fluency, but under phonics, we would be back at lesson 1.
Okay.
Syllable reading. Does that help?
Yeah, no, definitely. That does.
Okay. Yeah. So
Thank you.
I'm sorry. Maybe I'm a bit brain dead today. Okay.
No, it was a confusing question. Don't worry.
No. Well, you're kind. Other questions about that?
I just wanted to ask, so when we go into this lesson, I know we're going based on the lesson, like the learning plan we made for this specific student. So when we're going into this, we are assuming that they already have their consonant sounds done how we would have expected them to do, like a very shortened consonant sound.
Yeah, except that Jody's learning plan tells you that she has difficulty with BD.
Yep.
That she sometimes thinks a G is a 9. And what else?
It was the Y. It was the WYN. Yeah.
There you go.
UI.
So you, if we don't tell you anything, you can assume.
Okay.
If she has difficulty with it, then you're going to have to stop and tell her that's. Can you say? Whoop?
Got it.
And then you can rehearse words. You can say we find whoop on and always use the beginning. Wagon, wag, wig, welcome. Can you say what? Do you know what I mean? And then take her back to the syllable. And that might take some review. So your next meeting with her, Naz, in your review, W is going to be, right? The sound represented by W is going to be one of the things that you focus on. For Graham, one of the things I'm going to focus on is that a B or a D you're looking at. And you notice that when he had difficulty, I just colored the bowl of that D, right? And I didn't say, and so the other one is above, the other one's a B. I said, what must the other one be? Right? Let him do the thinking.
Got
Okay.
it.
Any other questions about that lesson? You would do the same thing when you get to reading words. You know, if the student were having difficulty reading the words, let's look for an example at the words lesson 2. Let's say we're here, okay? And Shaliza, why don't you be not bad, but not perfect at reading some of these words, okay?
Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
Sorry, I have to get, are you sharing the screen?
I thought I was, but
No.
you know
I
me.
thought I had to read off the paper. I was looking for it.
So sorry. There we go.
So you want me to be not that great, but not terrible either?
Yeah, not perfect, but yeah,
Okay.
make some mistakes, but not with the sound of ah right now.
Okay. So you want me to start? Okay.
All righty. Let's look at this one right here. Okay, that was really good. Can you put those sounds together a little bit better? Okay. Very good. Can you do it again? Okay, let's use that word. I think you know this word. I can say I am tall. What could you say?
I am a girl.
There you go. And that's the word am. Can you say am again?
Am.
Perfect. Let's go back to the beginning of that row, please, and start reading again.
Am. An.
And say an.
An.
Very good. And do that whole row one more time. I think you've got it just about perfect.
Am. An.
Perfect. Do the second row.
At. Bad. Bag.
Okay. Let's look at this word right here. Let's put those sounds together a little bit faster. Try that one again.
Okay. Bad.
Okay, so let's put those two sounds together first. The ah, what would you get when you put ah together?
Ba.
Okay, and what's the last sound?
Duh.
Okay, put it all together.
Bad.
Okay, and we don't say, if you were looking, I don't know, at a weed or something, would you say that's a bad weed, or would you say that's a bad weed?
Bad weed.
Okay, so can you read that word again?
Bad.
Very good. And now let's make that a little bit shorter. Looks like he's getting carried away with himself. Okay, just say bad.
Bad.
Very good. All right, if this one is bad, what's that one going to be?
Bag.
Look at you. You are amazing. You are absolutely amazing. Now, I don't know. Do you think you can do those ones again? Let's see if you can do those again. Let's read them down this time.
At. Am. Bad. And. Bag.
Wowzers. That was terrific. That was terrific. We're going to go down and do some more. And then what we would do is we would do this row, and then we would go back and we would collect the 3 rows. And then we would do the 4th row and we would go back and collect the 4 rows. And so what we're doing there is we're increasing her fluency in word recognition, 1 word at a time. And I would continue to do that as long as she continued to have difficulty making that a smooth collection of sounds. Okay. Over time, she will get better at it. And once she starts seeing them in sentences, some of that is going to fall away because context is going to help her with it. But make the word real is something that's really, really important, right? Remind her that she knows that word. When does she use it? Give her some context, allow her to use it, because that's what she's going to remember when she goes back and reads it again.